You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? This is your boy Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. If you're into anime, nerd culture, most importantly video games, guess what? You come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 430. Welcome, guys. I want to apologize because I wasn't here last week, but you know how it goes. Things come up, things arise, married, 2 kids, yada, yada, yada. You know the story. And I'm getting sick. So hopefully I can get this done and I'm better by next week. But it was cool that I missed because, you know, I had time for some dust to settle. And what I mean by that is just there's been a lot of shit going on out here in these video game streets, man. I mean, a lot. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about my anime watch list as well, because I tried to do something and I wasn't able to wait it out for one anime in particular. And we got Sony to talk about. We have Xbox and Microsoft to talk about. Man, there's been some shit going on. So this one's not going to be a long one though, but we are going to get into it. So without further ado, guys, let's begin. And I want to start with my anime watch list. And I've been watching JJK. Yes, I said I was going to wait for it to finish, but I could not wait, guys. I ended up watching some the other night. I watched like 4 episodes. And yeah, it was great. Like I said, I read the manga up to that point, the Culling games, and being able to see it now in animation form is quite awesome. Also, please excuse the noise in the background. There's a lot of late night creepers or drivers out now, so you may hear a little bit of that in the background. I forgive me in advance, though. Just letting you guys know. But anyway. So I've been watching some JJK, and then there's another anime that I ended up finding out about. I can't remember how I stumbled upon it. It was in my watch list, which are, you know, over 100 anime that are in my watch list. Anime that I have not watched yet, guys, that I've been meaning to watch. So, and this was one of them. It was called Wistoria, Wistoria. It actually reminded me of Black Clover a lot, because it took the premise of living in a world where magic reigns supreme. And if you don't know how to do magic, you are basically like worthless to some degree. And that's how the story starts. I really love the animation. I really love the art style. I didn't even get a chance to look into that, but I plan to look into that because season 2 is been greenlit and it should be coming. You know, it shouldn't be that long. I think it was an article that I stumbled upon, and it was like, "Hey, great news for Wistoria fans! You guys are getting a season 2." And I said, "Damn, what is this?" And I said, "This is on my watch list." And I said, "You know what? I was trying to decide what to watch over here, and they made that decision for me." So I said, "Cool." I went ahead and penciled it in, and I thought I was going to sit down for it, you know, and watch an episode or 2. But I ended up binging that whole season. It's only like, I think, 13 episodes for the first season. So yeah, I mopped those up in 2 days. I was done and I really loved it. I loved the premise. It was about a guy who pretty much didn't have any skills in magic at all. Couldn't do one spell. He made a promise to his childhood friend that, you know, they would eventually be together again. And she was, you know, severely blessed in a good way with magical power to the point where she was placed on the top of some tower, right? And that's where only the strong are allowed. And so he, of course, is on the bottom trying to get up there. And the only way to get up there is to join a certain group. And to get into that group, you have to have, you know, of course, you have to have some skills about you, especially in the magic, because this world revolves around that. He had none of that, but he did have strength. He was very strong, and all he had was his sword. And that's all he needs. Okay. This dude is a savage with the sword. All right. And that's how the story starts. And it's really good. It's really good. Like I said, it reminds me of Black Clover, just a little bit faster paced, I guess you could say. But it's definitely a good watch. And now it kind of inspired me to go back to Black Clover, because apparently Black Clover is now back in production, and it had a hiatus, kind of like Boruto had its hiatus. So apparently these are getting attention again, and we should be seeing new episodes. But I only watched like season 1 of Black Clover, so I still had some episodes to watch. So I'll probably end up going back to Black Clover, man, and seeing what's good over there. But I really did like this premise of this story. I like the characters. I like the relationships. Oh, that was my phone. Forgive me, guys. I should have turned it off, but I guess I'll do that now. I'll turn it down. But yeah, man, it was a great anime. Definitely recommend it. If you guys have not seen it, you're looking for something different, something good. If you love Black Clover, or if you even like it a little bit, then this one I think you guys would enjoy. But that was pretty much my anime watch list. Now I'm actually kind of figuring out what to go watch next, and it'll probably be Black Clover. But I don't know. There's some other ones that I have to go check out as well that I have kind of neglected. But yeah, man. So I'm off the next couple of days, and I kind of want to just kick back, and watch some more. I missed it. Sometimes I go through these little slumps where I don't get a lot of anime time, and like recently I've been watching a lot of live action shows, which I don't usually watch a lot of, and I kind of fell down that rabbit hole, and I got some pretty good shows done. But then, going back and looking at Crunchyroll, I kind of just felt good, man, to sit back and have a couple edibles and sit back and watch some of the backlog, and it was a nice experience, and I missed it. And so I guess it's safe to say that we have returned. So that is my anime watch list up until this point, guys. I'll definitely keep you posted on new shit, of course, moving forward. And there's I'm going to try to wait for JJK to finish. I really am, but there's still Fire Force, and there's still a couple other ones that a lot of people are waiting for. Hell's Paradise is another one. So there's a lot of them that I want to watch, and I'm trying to stay strong. And I think I can go find some other stuff to watch while the other stuff is finishing out. So that is my mission. But now that we're off anime, guys, we gotta talk about, since I wasn't here last week, I gotta kind of talk a little bit about the Sony State of Play, because they had a State of Play, and it was a pretty good State of Play. And it got me excited, and a lot of people got excited for what they were bringing to the table. And, there was a lot of games here. I have a list here of stuff that was talked about and shown, and of course, you had 007 First Light. They showed some stuff there. They also showed a game that goes by the name of Loop, which, these didn't really interest me a lot, but Beast of Reincarnation did. I'm really looking forward to playing that one. Probably on Game Pass for me. It's pretty good. It's a, single player, action RPG, and it comes out August 4th. And it's set in like a sci-fi kind of inspired far future in Japan. That's kind of like the backdrop. And I'm really interested in this. It's got real-time sword combat. It looks really good, man. So I am really hyped for this one. I'm going to get it. I think Game Pass when it drops. I don't have Game Pass now, but I'll definitely get Game Pass for this, because I can play this and I can play a couple other games that will have released, and take that month and just kind of play through those games. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then another game, I think this was called, what is this called? Bridge. I think that's how you pronounce it. Brigandine Abyss. I think that's how you do it, how you pronounce it. But this one's more like a strategy game. Not really my stilo, but that was shown. Another one that got me hyped, believe it or not, guys, Castlevania Belmont's Curse. This is a typical Castlevania, side scroller, Metroidvania type of game, but it has a beautiful art style to it. Animated. I don't even know how to, the colors are really spicy in your face. And I don't know. I really, really saw this one and was like, wow, it really intrigued me. I really want to play this, eventually. Now it doesn't, I'd say this would be a AA game, not a AAA. So if I had to put a price on it, maybe 30. You know what I mean? It could hit 50. I wouldn't be surprised if they said $49.99 on this one. But all the Castlevania fans out here, guys, you're probably going to eat this one up. Definitely go check out the trailers on this one. And yeah, when you're talking about Belmont, the Belmonts, man, you can't go wrong with this one. So this one looks awesome. As far as the release date is concerned, I didn't see a release date on this. And yeah, I didn't see a release date, so but it should be soon. Hopefully this year is what I'm hoping. Another one that really caught my attention that I talked about before, guys, was Control Resonant. If you are familiar with the Control universe, then you know that the Control game, centered around this protagonist in this game's sister. And so now you're going to get to play as the brother who was in a coma and all that, if you remember playing through the first game. And that lore is really rich. And that's what I like about these games in this universe. They just do a great job of kind of immersing you into that. And any game with good lore in it, man, is a win for me. I really appreciate that when it comes to video games and how they are made and stuff like that. And this is one of those games that I cannot wait to play. This game plays more like it's an in your face, more of a melee based combat system, as opposed to, in the Control, where she had a lot of range, a lot of different weapons and guns she could kind of make on the fly. But yeah, it looks really dope. I'm really loving the universe and how it looks and all of that. So really, really gonna get into this one and kind of try to connect the pieces to, that Control universe. I may have to go back and play Control, to freshen up before this game comes out. So, don't mind at all. I really love that universe. So guys, this one is awesome. And I don't know when this one's coming out either. I don't have a release date on this one, guys, but Remedy Entertainment are definitely doing their thing with this fucking franchise. So just keep up the good fucking work. And I cannot wait to play that. There's another game that goes by the name of Crimson Moon. This is a action adventure RPG. I think you can play co-op with this as well. It's okay. It kind of, I guess the vibes I'm getting off of this one, it kind of live service, even though it's technically not a live service game, but it just feels like a live service game to me. Nothing special, over the top or anything like that. It looks like an okay game. It could be better than that, but it's not a game that I'm really just checking for. Crazily. But anyway, here's a game though on the list that my wife kind of got intrigued about. She was watching some of the stuff with me. And the name of this game is called Doran's Paradox. It's about an octopus. And yeah, man, this one comes out April 2nd. There's a demo as well. So I haven't checked that out. I haven't got a chance or whatever, but it looks pretty cool. I mean, it looks like something, it caught my wife's attention. So, hey, you know what I mean? It was cool. Next game, Dead or Alive, believe it or not, Dead or Alive 6. Last round. They're re-releasing this, guys. Okay. June 25th. And this is basically the definitive edition. The original came out in 2019. And if you guys know anything about me, if you're new here, I love fighting games. That's my second favorite genre of games besides open world action RPGs. I love my fighting games, and Dead or Alive, DOA, is one of my favorite fighting franchises of all time. I go all the way back to the first Dead or Alive games, the 1 and 2 and the Dreamcast and PlayStation. Like, I go back. I love fucking Dead or Alive. Okay. So I remember when this game came out, all the flack and all the shit that it got, because they deserved it, man, because the way that they pushed this game out, I think it would have cost over $2,000 to buy all of the DLC and everything that with it. So they basically bird fed you all the characters. Everything was just over the top. All the cosmetics were priced over the fucking edge. It was just ridiculous. Like every little thing, color changes. It was just ridiculous. I remember all of the shit that it got when it came out, and it had so much potential because the game itself was the engine. Their engine is awesome. There's no other engine like it. And the way it fights, it's got a really heavy emphasis on defensive fighting as well. So encounters. So I really love DOA, and it kind of hurt me when that game came out, and it turned a lot of fans off. And now apparently they're fixing all their wrongs finally years later. Okay. Which is crazy, should have been fixed before, but apparently they're going to fix it now. We got 4 new fighters. And now we're going to get all the other fighters that were DLC characters. You get all that day one. So yeah, man, it's good. And they're working on another entry. Okay. So they're working on some new shit. So we got this to play while we wait for the new shit. So when it comes to fighting games, man, we're eating right now. I'm still looking forward to Virtua Fighter when that drops. Like, I'm really looking forward to that one and what these guys are going to do with that. So there's a lot of dope shit when it comes to fighting games. And I'm always a fan of when we get a new fighting game. So yeah, this one definitely will probably go to the collection now, because all the characters, all the DLC characters and all that. Basically, I'm buying this shit one time and I get all the characters. Now, hopefully they're not pricing us over the top and we get like a, maybe we get like a $40 price tag on this, 50. I won't go above that, but I'd pay 50 for this game. I definitely would. But yeah, that's that for that game. And then we have Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Now this one is coming to PC March 19th. So the pre-orders are up. A lot of people are excited for that. And you know what? I have never played Death Stranding 1 or 2, but I think I'm going to go ahead and when I get some free time, go ahead and give it a go, man. Because everybody says that 2 is really good. And there's, a lot of people feel kind of split on 1, right? But it's one of those weird kind of just obtuse type of games. And it may fall in my warehouse because I kind of navigate towards those games sometimes. And I know the graphics are breathtaking. I know that. So I'm really, here for the experience. And people say, hey man, you gotta try it yourself. You know what I mean? Cause it could be one of those games where you say, you absolutely love it. And so I don't know. I think I'm going to give it a shot. I really have, at least the first one. And then if I like the first one, I may go ahead and say, you know what? You might have to check out 2 eventually. But yeah, so that news there for that. Now, here's some of the meat and potatoes and some of the shit that came out and I want to talk a little bit about. Let's talk about God of War. God of War, they're cooking right now with God of War. And I say all that because we had a stealth drop that night, which was a game that goes by the name of God of War Sons of Sparta. It's a 2D game created with Mega Cat Studios. And it's kind of like a Metroidvania. I haven't had a chance to play it. Not really my cup of tea right now, but this is supposed to take place early on in the life of Kratos and all of that. But what's even bigger than that, though, what's got a lot of people excited is their announcement from Santa Monica Studios that they are actually, or have confirmed, that they are doing a remake of the God of War trilogy. Okay, the original God of War from PlayStation 2. They're redoing those, right, from the ground up. So I can't wait to see what this looks like. And they brought back the original voice actor. I think his name is TC or CT. I think it's TC. He used to be he's an actor. I know him from there was a sitcom, a black sitcom that went by Living Single. And he was one of my favorite characters on that series, but I never knew he did Kratos' voice until after that show, years after the show went off air. But he's an excellent voice actor and he did the original voice from Kratos. And a lot of people, if you talk to them, they will tell you they're split between him and then I forgot the other guy who plays current Kratos. Now they're both excellent actors. I love them both. And, I remember an interview that he did some years back and he was telling the story about how, just one day he got the call and they just told him, hey, we're not using you anymore. We found another actor. And he was just like, cool. And, it was just kind of nonchalant. And I felt kind of bad. And I was like, wow, they just threw him out like that. They didn't even, you know what I mean? But now being able to hear this, it's good that Santa Monica, did their homework, because if they didn't, then they wouldn't know that, this guy is loved, especially all of the OG God of War fans love this guy, love his work. So they did their homework. They got back in contact with him and they said it wouldn't be right if we were going to do the young Kratos that started it all and not use this guy. You know what I mean? So hats off to TC, hats off to these guys, and I'm glad he's back. They even had him in the video on the State of Play, kind of announcing and giving us this information. So I just loved that for him. I loved it for us as fans of, Kratos and the OG Kratos in those games. And so I'm excited and really looking forward to what they have in store, man, with these new games, with the new God of Wars. Well, the upcoming God of Wars, but the younger version. So just think about what they're going to be able to do with the technology now, as opposed to what they were working with then. Because then, for what they had, I mean, they made miracles happen then for the PlayStation 2. I remember playing God of War and how big it was, and everybody was talking about it and how awesome of a character he was. So yeah, man, I cannot wait to see what these guys are going to do with Kratos when they remake these games. It's going to be epic. I think it is, because I remember God of War 3 was fucking breathtaking. And so they're going to be able to just really leap over, mountains now with the technology. So I'm hype it's definitely day one for me. I'm a huge Kratos fan. I loved the God of War games, especially the last couple. Have them, own them, and all of that. So yeah, I cannot wait. All right. Next is Ghost of Yotei Legends. All right. This drops March 10th. March 10th. I think it's free. I want to say it's free. This supernaturally charged cooperative multiplayer update will be available to all Ghost of Yotei players as part of the game's 1.5 update. Yep, free. With distinct character classes to learn and earn cosmetics for 3 mission types to conquer, and the promise of a raid in the months coming. So we got raids coming as well later. So they really thought ahead with this particular update, man. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how that is going to play. I really love Ghost of Yotei. Crazy thing is I have not finished the game. I have not finished this one, guys. And if you really ask me, if I had to, my favorite between the two is going to always be Ghost of Tsushima. I'm sorry, guys. I'm butchering shit. But yeah, that one forever will always be my favorite. I remember playing that game and I played it all the way through. Ghost of Yotei is good. Please don't get it twisted. But it in my opinion, is not the better game. But everybody has their opinion on that. And, nobody has a wrong answer when it comes to that. But I am excited for this Legends. And it's just a gift that keeps on giving if you own this game and supported these guys. And, I love companies and studios that take care of their players like that. Sometimes it's cool to give your fans things without asking for something in return. It's okay to do that. You know what I mean? It's okay to have that. And it just means that, you're loved even more for that. And then when you drop your next project, you can almost assure that it's going to be a purchase from that group of people who rock with you. But, that's another conversation. But yeah, man, excited about that one. Now, here's one that really caught a lot of people, really caught me off guard. My best friend loves this guy. I'm talking about John Wick. John Wick has his own fucking game. I was wondering when it was going to happen. I've seen some kind of knockoff type stuff, over on Steam, and all that, where they kind of do the Max Payne type of stuff. But John Wick has his own game coming out now. This is actually a shooter / brawler game, so everything you can think of when it comes to John Wick is in this. I mean, the trailer looks breathtaking. It looks violent as hell, just like your John Wick movies, guys. And we get a game. So this game is coming to PS5. But the release date and official title is not yet known. So we don't know the actual title. This game is still a little ways off. So don't get too excited. Probably like a 2027 thing, most likely. And if I'm being honest, because usually when they give us this, they just want us to know, hey, we were working on it. We heard you guys, but it's probably going to be a while. Whenever you don't see a release date, even a window, then you have some time, and it doesn't even have an official name yet. So we have all those things coming, but it's very exciting. I called my boy as soon as I saw this, and he is ecstatic about it. And I guarantee he's going to be playing this. I'm going to be playing it too. I fucking love these type of games. So let's see what happens. Next on the list, Kena, Scars of Cosmora. I think that's how you pronounce that. It's the sequel to the first one, which was a smaller title, PlayStation exclusive, if I'm remembering correctly. This one looks like they finally have all of the pieces that they need, and they were kind of told, hey, man, just go crazy. There's no roof now. Do your thing. And that's exactly what it looks like. She's older now. Kena is older and she has more abilities and things of that nature. The game is actually bigger as well. It's more open and you can do more. I really like this trailer. And this one here, the world looks exquisite. It looks beautiful. It's got its own art style. Really loved it. And so I'll be looking forward to playing this one eventually at some point. So yeah, I had sent this to my daughter because she's starting the game now a little bit and she's doing her thing. But anyway, it's another conversation. But yeah, this one's coming out for PlayStation 5 and PC, and it's coming out this year. So we're going to get it at some point. No release date yet, but 2026 hopefully doesn't get pushed back, and we'll see what happens. Next, we have Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. This was announced a while back. This comes out March 3rd for PS5 and PS4. So yeah, man, you got a lot of different features with this, controls and camera design for modern audiences, a host of, Achievio content. And yeah, so you got a lot of stuff on there. I remember playing the Legacy of Kain games, guys, played them all, had them. I think I still have some on my Steam Deck, on my retro stuff. So they're there. It's cool to go back and be able to go back to some of these games, man. You know what I mean? Always a cool thing. But anyway, Marathon. Yeah, Marathon is coming out February 26th. They're having a server slam February 26th. Yeah. I think the actual game launches on March 5th. Okay. And a lot of people, had this game marked for dead, and some people still do. They don't think that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. I don't know how I feel about this. The only thing I know that it had a lot of controversy with the art direction and some stealing I heard that was going on or whatnot. Not giving certain artists credit. There was a lot of stuff going on, man. They were calling this another game dead on arrival. And I don't know, man. I personally like the graphics and the art style. I actually love the art style of this game, right? And I'm not a first person shooter fan by any stretch of the imagination. But this one looks fun. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm going to see what happens. I remember they were charging for this. I think they still are. In my opinion, games like this, though, should be free to play. But that's just my opinion. I'm going to let the game come out and see what happens, and see what they're talking about. If they do charge for it, I want to see what the price is and then go from there. Because there's just too many options for gamers out here now with these type of games. And I think that's the reason why a lot of them aren't doing so well. And some of these companies like Sony and it just period, they need to just stop trying to chase the dragon or, chase that lotto ticket with these games. They're wasting millions of dollars trying to catch a wave that was never there in the first place. And I think some of these guys just don't understand that. And that money could, be better served making other games, other titles, sequels to games that we haven't seen, or just other things that, the customers or fans have been kind of asking for. And sometimes these I'm not going to say devs, because they're just, their job is to make the game, to get the order and to make the game. But I'm talking about these studio heads, these people who are actually making the decisions on what should we put out, what is out there and what's, what could actually liven some stuff up. These are the people who we need to be breathing down their necks on, because those are the guys that are, shoveling a lot of this crap. And so I'm going to see a Marathon for me is kind of like a wait and see type of thing. And I'll see what happens, man. It could surprise everybody, but who knows? We'll see. People are actually getting fed up, though, with that. Anyway, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is a game I talked about, guys. It comes out August 6th, okay? Now, there is pre-orders go up February 19th. This game here is basically Dragon Ball Fighters, but with Marvel characters for the most part. They also introduced Wolverine and some other characters from the new trailer that they just had, coming out. So a lot of these characters I've never seen, like Magic, spelled Magik. I don't know who that is in the Marvel universe. Somebody named Danger. So these are characters, I think they purposely have done this. They kind of gave us a little bit of candy with Wolverine in there. We also have Storm. But I'm looking for, where's Cyclops? Where are these characters at? Beast or whoever else is out here. Like, I'm looking for some of these guys. And I think we'll get a lot of those characters eventually in some of the season passes, because the routine now. Once you've been around and you've seen these games and you've been in the gaming industry and you followed it for some years, you kind of know, you can kind of see the breadcrumbs, guys. We know how this works. They're going to drop this game. We're going to wait for some, a few seasons, and we're going to get some of the characters we want. But they're going to bird feed them to us over time. They're not going to give us all of it at once. I mean, those days are over, guys, where you when companies make games and they gave you everything for your money, those days are over now. Once they found out how to monetize this shit, of course, it was only a matter of time. So that's just what it is. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. We're going to have to wait. And, it's pretty much done in practice in every kind of genre for the most part. Every game, especially fighting games, of course, there's always DLC characters. I'm still waiting on Street Fighter 6. A couple of characters I'm still waiting on that should be in the game. Balrog should definitely be in this fucking game. He's not yet. Sakura, I think she should be in the game eventually. Hopefully she will make it as well. So, stuff like that. You just got to wait, man. People waited a long time for Sagat to finally get in there. So it just is what it is. And that's just the nature of the beast and how it goes. That's how the sausage is made, so to speak. But anyway, excited for that though, guys. Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2, yeah, these guys, I'm not really impressed with what they've been doing as of late. But we'll see, man. I mean, they are working on some stuff. The shit launches August 27th this year on PS5. And so packaging together Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and the series' first portable title, Metal Gear Ghost Babel, as a bonus title, along with some extras. They're trying to put some stuff together for the fans. And, you can never hate that, but hey, it is what it is. Mina the Hollowers, another game. There's a demo. Apparently there's a demo out. It's an action adventure and it launches in the spring. So, boasting densely packed world with over 25 unique bosses, 16 trinkets to discover, weapons, upgrades, level system. Yeah, I don't know. I have to take another gander at this. But yeah, it says a limited time demo drops on. Okay. Wow. Limited time. I hate these limited time demos, guys. I'll tell you that right now. They suck. Yeah, I don't like them. At all, if I'm being honest. A demo should just be a demo, because you're turning away a lot of potential buyers if you don't have a demo, guys. There's people who may not even know about the game yet, or may not have the money right now to buy the game, or who are on the fence on the game. Everybody doesn't catch on to these release dates. Everybody doesn't follow the games that close like some of us do, right? So they're not familiar. They may check twice a year or something and find some things they like. So it's always reassuring to say, oh, there's a demo here. I can check it out. And if you like it, cool. You know what I mean? So I love anytime we get demos, especially if they're not timed, then, it's cool. Neo 3 had a timed demo, and that sucks for them because, that's a fucking great game. I'm loving every minute of that game right now. And I kind of feel bad because there's a lot of people who aren't going to get a chance to try it out. And it's a nice, huge demo as well. So that, I think, is a missed opportunity right there. But yeah, time demos are not my thing. Next game on this list is a game that goes by the name Neva. This game is actually a prologue to a previous game that was out. And this one is kind of like an origin story, you can kind of tell. And this one is launching February 19th. So if you're a fan of the first game, Neva, then you may want to look into this one and check it out. Okay. We also have Pragmata. They showed some Pragmata. I'm still waiting for the demo for the consoles. The demo is out now on Steam. The game drops April 24th, so on PS5. So waiting for this. It looks interesting. I definitely want to try out, the combat system and how that works, and looking forward to this game, guys. And also, I guess the trailer they showed recently kind of had a more emotional kind of feel to it. I didn't think that was going to be present in this game, but it actually started tugging at the heartstrings a little bit. It kind of gave me that Team Eco kind of vibe. If you're not familiar with Team Eco, is one of my favorite game devs of all time. They are responsible for making some of my all-time favorite games of all time as well. My favorite number one game, I'd have to say all time, would be Shadows of the Colossus, and they are responsible for that. They are also responsible for Eco, which is also a very, very dope title, and also The Last Guardian. So it kind of gave me those vibes when I saw this last trailer, and I kind of like that. So definitely piqued my interest, and I can't wait to see more on this game, especially the demo when we get it. Now, I want to talk about a game. Of course, they showed Resident Evil Requiem, which is coming out the 27th, which I can't wait for. That's another game. There's a anime game by Konami called Rev Nior. Okay, they showed a trailer for this. This is basically, it looks like an RPG, action RPG, kind of right up my alley. I kind of like those type of things. So I want to look a little bit further in this one. I did like the trailer, but I do want to know more. We don't have a lot of information on this, but the trailer. So we don't know about the release date. I don't know about any of that. And hopefully that will come later. But yeah, that was cool. And then we have Soros as well. Housemarque. If you guys don't know who Housemarque is, they're the ones who made the previous game. It's, this one is definitely not for the faint of heart. If bullet hell, if you know what bullet hell games are, then you know what this is. It kind of plays like a bullet hell, like a 3D bullet hell game, and they can get very hard, very quick. I actually played the first one, but Soros looks actually a lot better. I just like the character design and the world building on this one more so. Not saying it's going to be a day one for me because I don't think it will, but it'll definitely be a game that I would definitely give a shot on a sale or when I have time to play it. It's just so many games now. There's so many games that you have to actually really choose wisely, not just because they're expensive. If you even put that aside, it's just the time. Like if you played every game you wanted to play, you would never be able to finish them, guys. You just wouldn't. We have another Silent Hill game called Silent Hill Townfall. Okay, this new entry into the horror franchise offers a new town to explore, horrific enemies to fight and evade, and story-driven puzzles that help deliver a new but distinctly Silent Hill tale of mystery, tragedy, and loss. The perspective shifts to first person, and a new yet retro portable CRT TV device will be both a useful tool in encounters and a way to unveil more of the story. Okay, I'm definitely interested in seeing that. I'm really not a first person kind of fan, guys. I do play them and there are some good ones out there, but I'd have to, look a little bit more on this Silent Hill one. I do love my Silent Hill games though, but like I said, I wish they would have did something like, Resident Evil is doing now, where you have first person and you have third, so you give us a choice. But I understand it can't always be that way. Now here's a game that really looked cool, and I'm talking about Star Wars Galactic Racer. This shit looks awesome. Okay, this one looks dope. I love my racing car games too. All right, and this shit looks awesome. This one's coming to PS5 later on in the year. They haven't gave us a date yet, but yeah, man, looks like it's gonna be good. It looks like it's going to be a pretty nice, pretty cool game. Like I said, only time will tell. When we get a release date, I will keep you guys updated on that. Here's a game, strategy, I guess you can call it this. It's called Yako. I think that's how you pronounce it. YAKOH, Shinobi Ops. It's a 4-player online isometric shinobi action game that sneaks onto the PS5 later this year. Work together to infiltrate heavily guarded enemy territory, combining your unique ninjutsu abilities to avoid traps, evade soldiers, and escape an ever-present unstoppable pursuer who threatens to end your run prematurely. Yeah. And then the last game I kind of want to talk about is the one that completely blew me out of the water. I think it had a lot of people talking, and people are still talking about this game. It is called Project Windless. Now, this game surrounds, it's actually based on a story. So it's a dark fantasy. It's an open world action RPG, my favorite genre. Okay. And it's inspired by a Korean novel series, The Bird That Drinks Tears. Okay. The game will tap into point thousands of years before the source material, having you play as one of the Recons, a nomadic warrior race of humanoid birds known for their immense physical strength and size. So basically this guy, the protagonist in this game, looks like a giant chicken. Okay, just think of like Kratos, but if he was a chicken. Right? I'm telling gobblers and all, the beak, all the stuff, guys. Towering build. Taking out people with huge blades in any other way, possibly just shredding enemies in all kinds of disgusting ways. This game just blew me away. I just didn't expect it. And I think a lot of people felt the same way, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome, and you should definitely check this one out. It's a day one for me, off top, no questions asked. That's all the information we know about this game. There's no release date in sight. So I know this game has some time in the oven yet to cook. So we're probably not going to see this game, guys, for another year or two, most likely. Probably 2027 if I'm, and that's that's if we're going to get it soon, so hopefully we get it in 2027. I would love to get it this year, but it is what it is. But definitely a day one for me. If I can get a collector's edition, I will probably do that. And I want to check out the book too, because the book may be something to look into as well. I heard it is really, really popular and it's a really good story if you're into that fantasy type of situation. So I'm going to do some more research on that and try to get into it a little bit more, try to immerse myself a little bit more on these characters and some of this lore here. But yeah, that was the end. That was the star of the show, in my opinion. We like I said, we got some good news on some other things here. And it was a pretty solid state of play, if you ask me. So yeah, that was the state of play, man, for you. It went a little longer than I thought. But anyway, let's put that down. And now I kind of want to talk a little bit about what's been going on, because Sony, even though this was a good thing, there's some bad, I had to kind of talk a little bit about after that. And I'm talking about BLUEPOINT Studios being axed. Okay. They have shut down BLUEPOINT Studios and they got a lot of flack for it too. People are in Sony's ass for this, and they should deserve it. I mean, they deserve it, because this studio, if you're not familiar with BLUEPOINT is the studio that did the PS5 Dark Souls game, okay, and which is breathtaking still to this day, like just amazing. And they also did, they worked on my favorite game of all time, which was Shadows of the Colossus, right? Beautiful, breathtaking game. And so they have been axed, right? And Sony was using them for some dumb shit. Apparently they've been using them to work on like live service games. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of questions I have, when it comes to BLUEPOINT now. Where do they go from now here? Like, what happens next? Do they have plans? I would think that somebody would scoop this squad up. I hope they don't disperse and split up and go the way of the dodo that way, kind of like how Team Eco did when they were making those games, and they kind of just broke up, and then they formed a new studio, which is now called Gen Design, which I'm waiting on that. Kind of disappointed I haven't heard anything else from their Project Robot, but I'm highly anticipating that game. But yeah, hopefully they can stay together, because a lot of people wanted them to do a lot of stuff. You hear Bloodborne, Bloodborne is like the number one thing I keep hearing about with these guys. Let's, redo Bloodborne. But I would love to see them redo a lot of things. I would love to see them do Eco. I would love for them to redo Eco. Like, can we get that same treatment that we got from Shadows of the Colossus? I would love that. But that's wishful thinking. I would be happy to see them redo anything. Like, you can put BLUEPOINT on anything and they can probably make it shake with enough time. Everything they've touched so far, I mean, they can't miss. So why were they axed? I don't know, guys. That's just a bad decision, that Sony's making, and they've been making a lot of them lately. So I don't know what's going on with Sony right now, but apparently this is not a good thing. And a lot of people are really upset about it, including myself. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see if they can be salvaged at some point. Maybe they get bought out by like Tencent, whatever that company is, or are able to work for a bunch of different people, get hired to do a remake, whoever or whatever. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. Only time will tell. But yeah, that's the bad part, the bad news with Sony. But we also have some Xbox really to go over real quick. And this is crazy because, Phil Spencer, and not just Phil, okay? Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond have left Xbox, okay? Gone. Phil Spencer has, I guess, resigned, if you will, and Sarah Bond followed suit. Now, that has questions all over, and I'm really, a lot of people, we're not stupid. Let's just say that out the gate, all right? I think this was a firing. I think he was forced out. And I think that Sarah Bond was as well, because they're kind of like a package deal. I think they were moving in another direction, AI and all this other bullshit, because the person they hired is actually, she was in charge of an AI division. Okay. And she got moved up here. And another thing that's I hear a lot of people talking about with this new hire is that, it's fake. She's a plant. Okay. She's been just placed here she's got they've created a fake account for her for Xbox to basically, have her, they want people to look into her and say, hey, oh, she plays Xbox. She plays games. She's a gamer. And it looks fake. It looks like it was doctored up, and it really, it was something created, in short time when they knew the decision was going to be made. So they wanted to make sure that, she didn't get ate up for it, but it was too late and the damage is already done, guys. And I think that's what it is. I think because most people will say, oh, who are you guys hiring? Who's next up? Are they gamers? Do they care about games? That's one thing people want to know about, because if you just stick somebody in there with a degree, that's the recipe for disaster. If you're dealing with games, if you're in that field, if that's your wheelhouse and you don't play them, then that means you can't relate. And if you can't relate, then that means the decisions that you make are going to be a lot of bad ones, because you're not going to care or even listen to what the fans have to say about what they want from your brand. I mean, if I'm being honest, when's the last time they really did listen? They haven't really been listening too much anyway, to the fans when it comes to Xbox, as far as their first party stuff. And then that's over. That's even another discussion, guys, because we all know now, I think that the console wars is dead now. I mean, it's over. So now what does Xbox really have to live for? What are they going to be pushing? And so it's just up in the air now. We don't know, right? We don't know. It's just in disarray right now. Xbox Game Pass they hadn't made the money they thought they were going to make, even though I think it's a decent business structure. Not if they keep raising these prices like they're doing, because it's getting a little bit out of hand, and it's probably what's driving more people away from it. And that's just the sad nature of the beast, but it is what it is. So we're witnessing a transition here, and I still don't know where it's going to land. It's happening before us, and I still can't see the landing yet. And I think that's what everybody's trying to figure out, especially with the Xbox right now. I think PlayStation just got complacent. They got lazy because they were the default system. They were the default company. And they're the smartest one to go to right now. But just because that is the case doesn't mean that you should stop, working and trying to make first party games. Stop trying to do the things that, made you who you were in the first place, And I think that's what we're seeing now. We're witnessing a little bit of that, where you're just now getting bird fed, slowly. First party games now, they weren't as abundant as they used to be. There's no reason that they have to do it now. So they took their foot off the gas, and they're kind of in cruise control now, and it's rubbing some people the wrong way. So I understand that. So we're all in a different kind of weird place with the games and where we're going with this shit, in my opinion. So everybody has their glasses on. We're trying to find that landing spot, and hopefully we can find it at some point. But it's just been bad all around. I mean, for a lot of companies, man, it's hard. Everything's getting higher. Nintendo's talking about raising fucking prices as well on the Switch 2. They're going to try to hold off until 2027. But all these parts, all these things are out of hand. I mean, even the Steam Deck, they announced that they're not going to be pushing out any more Steam Decks anytime soon, guys, because of parts. And they need those parts for the Steam box, which they still haven't announced the price for. They still haven't really announced the release date, because they can't, because there's just too many uncertainties in the air as far as prices. And these tariffs aren't doing anybody any good. So it's just a lot going on. PlayStation's getting more expensive. Xbox, prices are being raised, guys. So if you haven't been grandfathered in and you're trying to get a new system, you better be stacking your money and putting it up, because you're going to need it if you want to get these consoles brand new. And so that's just where we're at right now. Everything's been pushed back for the most part as far as releases, the next gen, which it should be. They shouldn't be putting these out in 2027. They're smoking fucking sherm sticks if they believe that, because they're still making games fucking for multi-platforms. All right. When you guys stop making games for PS4, then you can start maybe thinking about the next console, right? We haven't even reached the peak of the PS5 yet. And these fuckers are talking about PS5 Pro and all that. Always trying to juice up the Pro and all that. But half the games for the Pro don't even run better than the fucking base PlayStation 5. So I don't know what these guys are doing. But I never fall for that banana in the tailpipe. I never buy the Pro version. I didn't buy the PS4 Pro either. And like I said, I didn't miss it. And I won't miss the PS5 Pro either. Okay. So they can eat a dick. I have a PS5 and that's all I'm rocking with. You guys aren't going to fucking gouge me. But it is what it is. That's where I'm at. That's how I feel currently. And that is going to do it for the show. Now, I want to thank everybody for coming out, downloading, streaming, checking out the show, guys. And I will see you guys hopefully next week, and I won't get sick. So, I'll say that. But yeah, I apologize again for not having an episode last week, but I was able to get this out to you. I'm going to go ahead and edit this really quick, put it out. And then, working on some videos, guys. It's always something for me to do. It's always something for your boy to do. So with that being said, guys, I'm out of here. I love you guys dearly. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.